Thanks for joining Let It Fly Disc Golf, and in today's video we're going to talk about the hit. Stay tuned. So what is the hit? Why is it so important? Well, as we start to come through into our power pocket and we get to the point where the disc wants to rip out of our hand, that is the hit. There are different positions in the hit, but the main one is we want to get to around 10 o'clock. If this is 9 and this is 12, we want to get to about 10 o'clock here. Getting to the hit every single time in the same position will help with our consistency and our release. So let's go over a couple things I like to think about when getting to the hit. So I have really been focusing on just getting to the hit. A lot of the other stuff in my form is getting better, but the hit has been a little inconsistent. So whenever I do go to evaluate where I'm going to throw, I figure out where my hit needs to be so that this way, whenever I get to that point, it gives me a clean release and it allows me to hit my gap. So there's a couple things that I like to think about. First of all, when we get to the hit, I like to evaluate my body position, okay? The other thing is keeping your hand closed. We can't stress this enough. This is almost one of the most important part of your throws. You can have really fast arm speed, you can have great transfer of your weight, but if you don't keep your hand closed, you're not actually going to transfer that speed into the disc, or in this case, into the hit. So when we get to the hit, you want to keep your hand closed. This is one of the most major things that I had an issue with when I got into disc golf. Even now, I still get to that point and I have to tell myself on the tee, do not open your hand. Okay? So when we get to the hit, we want the disc to rip out of our hands and we don't want to guide the disc where we want to throw it. If we get to the hit, the disc is going to rip out of our hands because the momentum is so strong. So you can do this from a standstill. We're not focusing on where it's going, but what I'm going to try to do is just focus on getting here and allowing the disc to rip out of my hand. I don't really care how far it goes. The idea is to get to the hit and hold on to it. Something like this. Now you heard an audible feedback. What that tells me is not so much of that's the hit or that's the snap and I got a lot of snap. It doesn't tell me that. What it does tell me is that I held onto the disc at the very end. Your fingers start to rip open when the disc tries to rip out of your hand. We're hearing our fingers snap back into our hand. That tells me that I held onto the disc. It gives me a physical feedback because I felt the disc rip out of my hand. Let's throw another one, but this time I'm gonna open my hand so you can hear the difference. So now I'm gonna throw this disc, but I'm not gonna actually hold on to it. I'm gonna try to open my hand at the hit, and you should hear a difference. If anything, I'll feel a difference, and we should get a different result. You can still get decent results this way, but you're not gonna get the distance that you've been looking for. All right, here we go. One, that doesn't help with nose angle. When you are pouring the tee and you hold onto the disc, even if the disc does come up, when you get to the hit and if you get to it cleanly, the disc is going to have to pivot out nose down because you're getting to the hit and you're holding on to it. I want to take a second to thank everybody who has been watching my video content. If you are new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button if this content is up your alley. Our channel has been growing. It has been growing a little slower, and that's totally fine, just as long as the content is helping you out in the field. If it has been, leave a comment below. Let me know what's been working for you and what hasn't, and we can try to make those adjustments as we need to. All right, let's get back to the video. The first important thing is holding onto the disc. Super important. The other thing is slowing down, right? Slow is smooth, smooth is far. I think we have a tailwind going on right now. I can throw pretty far with a slow arm speed. The idea is if I speed up too fast, I might actually grip lock out this way. I want the disc to travel in front of me and release out this way. So one, having decent form definitely does help, but recording yourself from behind will also teach you, am I releasing it out here or if I'm releasing it out here? If you intentionally think about getting the disc out in front of you, then it makes it a lot easier to get that clean release. So I'm gonna give you a couple throws. I'm gonna share how much power I'm putting into it, but I'm also gonna try to slow down so that this way you can still see that we can still throw out pretty far, even with a slow pace and a slow arm speed, as long as you're getting to the hit as cleanly as possible. I'm gonna slow down, but really focus on just getting to the hit. That went about 300 feet with maybe about 20%. I could probably be a little bit more cleaner. Really try to focus on getting it here. Low burner, get the skip. That went about probably the same distance with the same amount of arm speed. Now this is super important to get the nose down, because with the anhyzer, if you get it nose up, it's just gonna die. Another thing that you can also try to work on, just to feel the actual hit, is do shadow swings. Now you have to be pretty loose for this, but if you are getting your transfer weight over and you're allowing your arm to kind of just whip out, try to like speed up and get to the hit. Now you're not going from here to here at 100%. You're slow and then go, slow and then go. Now what you'll feel is there's a heavy hand in a sense, okay? Don't go too fast, because then I don't want you to hurt yourself. But for me, you probably can't hear it because it's a little windy, but my wrist kind of ticks. Okay, it ticks. And that is the heavy hand syndrome, right? We've seen this with hammers. People pull out hammers and they're trying to transfer their weight. And there's a point where the hammer wants to kind of like just tug you out to a certain position. That is the hit point. And so I used to have an idea thinking that the shot was a rounded motion like this. Like if I got to the hit right here and then rounded off, if I'm going fast enough, the disc will actually rip out of my hand when it needs to. And that can technically happen, but that's not what we're actually trying to accomplish here. What we're trying to accomplish is a linear motion, getting to the hit as quickly as possible so the disc will rip out of our hand and then the follow through happens. That's what we're really looking for. I want to take a quick moment to let you know that we are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. This is one of the discs that we're going to be throwing into the subscriber giveaway. It is a Kristen Tatar Grand Grace 2023 two-time world champion. This is super sweet. Look at that color scheme. Really, really nice. Now I have a couple other discs that are going to be thrown in there as well. Let me know. We might even do a two-person giveaway. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I want to give back to the community. You watch my content, you sit there, watch 20-30 minutes of it, and you give likes. Some of y'all actually communicate with me. So really, really appreciate everybody who's been watching my content. Make sure you subscribe. Once we hit that 1,000 subscriber giveaway, we'll put out a video to let you know how to enter, but stay tuned. Now I've done a couple versions of this video. Today has been less windy and it stopped raining. So I'm gonna put some footage at the very end of the video of me showing you the hit point and some of the actual throws that are better than others. Now we're not robots. If I'm trying to get to this point, I'm trying to get to this point. Doesn't mean that I'm always gonna get to this point, but I am definitely trying. And that's the idea when you come out to the field and do field work. You wanna be very methodical with your actual actions so that this way you get the results that you're looking for. If you come out here and you do 100 throws, but you don't record yourself, how are you going to know if you're doing it correctly or not? So the idea is to record yourself out in the field. I'll link up to the video right here about how to do that. There's some content in the description that shows you where you can buy some of the equipment that I use. Doesn't cost you any extra money, but it does help out with some affiliate link. I do put these videos out at least once a week. I do have a family, full-time job, and so this is something that I just like doing. I do like teaching. I'm not a coach, but I do like to share some of the things that I've learned on my journey over the last 12 years. And hopefully some of this will actually translate into your disc golf throw. Other than that, that's gonna be it for this video. I do appreciate everyone who's been watching. Keep coming back for more. Hit that notification bell. We have some exciting video content coming up pretty soon, so definitely check that out in a little while. Other than that, keep up the good work. Get out in the field. Let it fly. Peace. Same thing, kind of slow, get to this point, boom, but then focus on holding on to the disc. Get into that hit point. A little bit further, I think. I probably powered up a little bit more on that, probably like 30%. But the idea is I'm gonna focus really on just staying smooth and get onto the hit. I believe it's a headwind. Maybe not the best disc, but I'm gonna put it on a little bit of hyzer and focus on the same thing. This is a little bit trickier because with the hyzer flip, it still might flip over. It's pretty flippy. Here we go. Flipped up nice, nose down, pretty good. I'd probably say maybe like 275 with maybe 15 to 20% power. Let's do another one.